8 a.m. Hundreds of protesters are gathered outside the Marriott Wardman Park Hotel on Woodley Road in Washington, D.C.
We hope that the DNC recognizes that elections did happen in Michigan and Florida, free and fair elections, as seems to be the goal. And we feel that those votes should be honored. People got up, they made a plan, they got dressed, showered, got out, voted, cast the ballot, made a conscious decision on who they were going to vote for, and we think that those people should not be disenfranchised.
Most of them are Hillary supporters.
100% of the vote should be counted exactly the way the votes were cast. Otherwise, you're disenfranchising voters.
And nothing less.
Nothing less.
And many say there's no way they will support Barack Obama, ever.
I'm angry enough to leave the Democratic Party. Yes.
I am also angry enough to leave the Democratic Party, and I would hope that Hillary would run as an independent.
Barack Obama will not be getting my vote in November. And I live in Virginia.
Anyway, no how.
No how, under no circumstances.
No way. He's not qualified.
9:45-ish. The DNC's Rules and Bylaws Committee comes to order.
Good morning.
Co-chair Alexis Herman jokes that no one has ever been so interested in their meetings before. It's true. 10 o'clock. DNC Chairman Howard Dean jokes how hard-fought the primaries have been.
Designed the 50-state strategy. I'm not sure we meant that every single one of the 50 states would have a hard-fought primary.
People chuckle. The co-chairs rehash how we all got here. Many wish they were not. Around 10:30, arguments for the Florida challenge begin with lots of technical jargon. The words shall and provide and Alice in Wonderland are tossed around. There seems to be consensus, though, that the Floridians want 100% of their delegation seated with 50% of their vote. 11 o'clock. Impassioned speeches begin.
That in Florida, we're pretty sensitive about having our votes taken away.
11:30. State Senator Arthenia Joyner gives a speech for the Clinton campaign. It's impassioned.
By the people and for the people. But right now, as it applies to Florida, we are missing the people.
Everybody loves her. When asked what she wants, she says,
I want it all.
She means she wants all delegates with 100% votes. It's noon. Representative Robert Wexler gives a speech for the Obama campaign. It's impassioned. The Obama campaign supports the Floridian Compromise as proposed by John Osman. The crowd sighs. Then he gaffes.
Senator Obama should be commended for his willingness to offer this extraordinary concession.
Clinton supporters jeer. Wexler and Clinton supporters on the panel get into a tiff.
Why would that be disunity rather than unity?
I wish you had asked that question last year.
He finishes and shakes everybody's hand. 1 o'clock. Everybody's hungry. But the committee decides to hear the Michigan argument before going to lunch. Everybody agrees Michigan will be tricky. 1:15. The Michigan arguments open. They want all their delegates seated, but there's division over how their delegates should be awarded. The main issue seems to be that Barack Obama, John Edwards, and others took their names off the ballot before the primary. Everybody agrees Michigan had a flawed primary.
Well, the problem is we had a primary which was flawed.
Except for Clinton's people.
But I wouldn't call it flawed. I think that's an unfair use of the word.
Speaking for Hillary, former Michigan Governor Jim Blanchard hints at a convention floor fight. People gasp. The committee spars over the Michigan proposals. It becomes heated. Donna Brazile speaks. People applaud.
You mentioned your mother.
3 o'clock, the committee adjourns for lunch until 4:15. Clinton supporters on the committee hold an impromptu press conference outside where they lambast the Obama positions.
For them to presume that we would even want to accept something less than what the voters are entitled to, in my mind, is ridiculous. And it's not about concession. They don't have anything to concede. This is the Democratic Party that is authorized to allocate the votes as they should be allocated.
One of the protesters from outside has been watching the meeting on TV. She doubts a compromise.
It doesn't appear that much progress has been made. People seem to have stated their position, and they seem pretty much diametrically opposed, and and everybody seems pretty entrenched in their own positions, so I don't see how there's going to be any kind of compromise.
4:15, the committee is not back yet. The protester has scalped a pass and snuck into the actual meeting. She's taking pictures with the Hillary supporters who appeared earlier on TV. 5 o'clock, still not back. The press and some campaign staffers start to joke about a smoke-filled backroom deal. 6 o'clock, word leaks of a backroom deal. The committee obviously wants to keep what must be heated deliberations behind closed doors. 6:20, they're back after almost 3 hours.
Is back in session, finally.
They go directly to the motions. The first, to see all of the Florida delegation with 100% of their delegates and votes, fails. A few vocal Clinton supporters start chanting. $6.50, a second motion to seat the delegation with half votes passes. More chanting. $7.15, the committee approves a motion to seat the full Michigan delegation with half votes, allotting Clinton 69 delegates and Obama 59 delegates. Clinton supporter Harold Ickes says Clinton reserves the right to fight.
One final word. Mrs. Clinton has instructed me to reserve her rights to take this to the Credentials Committee.
That would be in July. Some in the room groan. The vocal minority becomes incensed. Many are escorted out. $7:45. The committee wraps up. Outside, Clinton supporters stage small but irate protests. The media eats it up.
They didn't want to hear us in there. They didn't want to hear a damn word we had to say. They didn't want to hear us. They wanted to tell us about their heritage. They wanted to pat each other on their own damn backs. They didn't want to hear us in there.
We will not come home. We will vote for the cave.
This is farce. This is not the People's Party. This is not. Sorry, no.
Obama's Florida representatives celebrate.
Our voices and votes were heard.
But wouldn't it be better than that if people weren't chanting Denver, Denver and yelling McCain 08?
Nobody was chanting Denver, Denver with respect to Florida.
DNC damage control operations begin. The press is wrangled into a side room for a conference away from the protesters. When some media try to leave this side room, it's suggested that they go back in. After 8 p.m., co-chairs Alexis Herman and James Roosevelt enter. They calmly and coolly imply the day went as expected.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
I guess because I've been in so many of our Democratic meetings, I heard it, I wasn't surprised, I expected it, and it's something that we're going to have to continue to acknowledge and to deal with as we move towards Denver, but ultimately on to victory in November.
We had this hearing today that the meat of it actually took place behind closed doors. Can you address how much decision making actually went on during that 3-hour lunch?
I don't think there were deliberations that went on behind the scenes that were not obvious to all of you and to the general public.
And I'd only add that, in fact, there was no decision making at the lunch meeting. There was enough negotiation to produce a unanimous vote in one case and an overwhelming vote in the other. Thank you all very much.
Close to 8:30. Questions end. The day is done.